In the quiet stillness before dawn, when the world has not yet remembered its noise, the wind touches the earth with a softness that feels like a blessing. This is where our journey begins. Welcome, dear listener, to Daily Dharma Listening, a sanctuary for anyone seeking ancient clarity in a modern world, a gentle refuge where Buddhist teachings breathe again through the stories of the past and the struggles of the present. Before we begin, if these teachings bring you comfort, wisdom, or even a moment of calm, I invite you to subscribe, like, and share this space with those who may need it. Your presence here helps weave a circle of mindful hearts, and in that circle, we learn to find peace in chaos, protect our energy, and live without fear. Tonight's reflection is an invitation back into yourself, a slow descent into the quiet knowing that has always lived beneath your worries, your plans, and your restless thoughts. It is a reminder that Buddhism for beginners is not about memorizing doctrines or becoming someone new. It is about remembering the vastness within you that has been forgotten beneath the weight of daily life. When we speak of Buddhist wisdom, we are not reaching outward but returning inward, like a traveler realizing the home he sought was always within the distance of a single mindful breath. Imagine for a moment a lantern glowing in a small mountain temple. The monks are asleep, the world is sleeping, and only the lantern remains awake. Its flame wavers gently, neither fighting the wind nor clinging to its own brightness. It simply exists, steady in its purpose, at peace with what is. This lantern is the symbol of the mind we seek, a mind that knows how to stay calm and positive even as life shifts unpredictably around us. Tonight we explore the first principle of our long path, the art of returning. So often we wander away from ourselves, chasing anxieties as though they were obligations. We replay the past as though it could still be fixed. We fear the future as though worry could guarantee safety. And in all this wandering, we forget the simple truth at the heart of all Buddhist teachings: the present moment is the only place where transformation becomes possible. When you return to the present, even for a breath, you are already practicing Buddhist lessons for anxiety, weakening the grip of old patterns and allowing a clearer vision to rise. One ancient Zen story tells of a young monk who was asked to fetch water from the river at night. Afraid of the darkness, he approached the master and confessed his fear. The master handed him a small candle, saying, "Take this with you." As the young monk walked, the flickering flame gave him courage, but halfway down the path the master appeared again and blew it out. The monk froze in panic. The master then said, "You depend too much on what is outside. Learn to walk with a light no one can blow out." This is the first truth of inner quiet: the peace you seek cannot be borrowed. It is not found in the approval of others, not secured by future plans, not given by circumstance. It is cultivated, breath by breath, by learning to trust the stillness within you. When you protect your energy, you are not hiding from life, you are honoring the sacredness of your inner flame. And when you learn to find peace in chaos, you do not eliminate chaos, you simply stop surrendering your calm to it. Take a moment now. Notice how your breath moves through your body. Notice the rise, the fall, the quiet pause in between. Each breath is a doorway back to yourself. Each inhale a soft gathering, each exhale a gentle release. As the mind begins to soften, you may discover emotions rising, old frustrations, unspoken fears, or the subtle ache of feeling lost. Buddhist reminders when you feel lost are simple: pause, breathe, return. You are not broken, you are unfolding. You are not behind, you are awakening. Let us wander deeper into this night of teachings. Imagine an old tree standing alone on a hillside. It has survived storms, lightning, drought, and the passing of countless seasons. Its strength does not come from resisting the wind but from embracing it, bending yet unbroken. This is how we must learn to stand in our lives. To live without fear is not to avoid the wind but to understand that fear itself is a wind, passing, powerful, but never permanent. When we transform our mind, fear no longer dictates the shape of our life. Instead, it becomes a teacher, a messenger revealing where we have yet to soften, where we have yet to let go. Reflect on your own life. How many choices have been shaped by fear disguised as caution? How many dreams postponed because the unknown seemed too vast? Buddhist teachings encourage us not to remove fear but to witness it with compassion. When you acknowledge fear without running, you are already transforming your mind. You are already growing wiser than the part of you that once trembled. Another Zen tale tells of a farmer who complained constantly about the troubles of his life. One day he met the Buddha and begged, "Please, relieve me of my problems." The Buddha smiled and said, "Everyone has 83 problems. When you solve one, another appears." The farmer angrily demanded, "Then what is the use of your teaching?" The Buddha replied, "I cannot help you escape the problems of life. I can help you escape the problem of thinking you should not have them." This is the pivot point of inner freedom. Suffering is not a sign you're doing life wrong. It is the natural friction of human experience. When we understand this, we stop chasing a perfect life and begin shaping a peaceful mind. We stop exhausting ourselves trying to control the uncontrollable. This is how to stay calm and positive, not by constructing a world without difficulty, but by cultivating a mind that remains spacious despite difficulty. You may wonder how to apply this in everyday life. Consider the moments when frustration arises, someone speaks harshly, plans fall apart, expectations are unmet. Instead of reacting immediately, practice pausing. Hear the breath before you hear your thoughts. This pause is a thread of ancient wisdom woven into modern life. In this pause, you find choice. In this pause, you protect your energy. In this pause, you become the lantern on the mountain, steady even in the wind. And so, tonight's teaching is not a doctrine but a direction. Return to yourself. Return to the breath. Return to the awareness that sees without judgment. This is the foundation upon which the next 29 parts of our journey will unfold. This is how you begin to transform your mind, step by gentle step. As the night deepens and your body grows heavy with rest, let these words settle like falling leaves upon a quiet pond. You are learning to enter yourself with kindness. You are learning to navigate life with the softness of ancient monks and the clarity of timeless wisdom. If these reflections guide you gently into sleep or help you wake with a lighter heart, remember to subscribe, like, and share so that this sanctuary may reach others wandering in their own storms. Rest now. You are safe. The lantern within you still glows. Part 2. The quiet path back to yourself. In the hush that follows a long night, when the first strands of daylight weave themselves into the sky, there exists a sacred moment where the world exhales and everything seems possible again. It is in this fragile space between darkness and morning that the mind becomes soft enough to listen, and the heart becomes open enough to receive the tenderness of ancient teachings. This chapter is an invitation to walk slowly along the quiet path back to yourself, guided by Buddhist wisdom that has survived the rise and fall of empires, the shifting of ages, and the countless storms of human longing. There is a truth rarely spoken aloud yet deeply felt in the quiet corners of our lives. Most suffering arises not from what happens to us, but from the invisible expectations we carry. These expectations weave themselves around our hearts, whispering that life should unfold in a particular way, that people should behave according to our hopes, that outcomes should align with the stories we imagined. When they do not, we call it chaos. We call it disappointment. We call it loss. And yet the teachings remind us gently that when the mind learns to release its grip, the world stops feeling like an enemy we must resist. Imagine standing at the edge of a still lake. The surface reflects the mountains, the trees, and the sky with perfect clarity. But when you reach down to grasp that reflection, the water trembles and everything becomes distorted. The more you try to hold it, the more it slips away. This is the nature of life. Clarity is found not in grasping but in allowing. When the mind becomes still, even for a moment, we discover how to remain calm and steady amidst life's unpredictability. We learn how to stay calm and positive not by forcing serenity, but by understanding the way thoughts rise and fall like ripples on a surface we no longer need to control. One of the quiet lessons in Buddhism for beginners is that the journey does not require grand gestures. It begins where you already stand. It begins in the small moments most people dismiss: the breath before a reaction, the silence after a disappointment, the warmth of sunlight on the skin when the mind has forgotten to rush. These moments are doorways, and when you step through them, you begin to transform your mind, gently reshaping the way you meet the world. There is an old story of a monk sweeping the temple courtyard. A young novice approached him and asked how he managed to remain peaceful even during difficult days. The monk paused, tapping the broom lightly on the stone floor, and said, "When I sweep, I only sweep. When I walk, I only walk. When I breathe, I only breathe." The novice frowned, confused, but the monk continued, "Peace is not found in doing things perfectly. Peace is found when you stop dividing yourself between what is happening and what you wish were happening." This teaching settles quietly into the bones when you allow it. Most anxiety arises from living in two places at once: the world outside and the world inside the mind. When these two conflict, tension begins. But when you bring them into harmony by being fully present, even for a breath or two, suffering softens. This is the heart of Buddhist lessons for anxiety. The present moment is always wide enough for peace. Consider the way you move through your day. You may be preparing a meal, but your thoughts are already worrying about tomorrow. You may be resting, but your mind races with unfinished tasks. You may be with someone you care about, yet 1,000 invisible burdens pull your attention away. Each moment you are split, exhaustion grows. But each moment you return, you reclaim a piece of yourself. To live without fear is not to eliminate uncertainty. It is to understand that fear is a shadow cast by the mind's stories about what might happen, what could fail, what might be lost. Yet the teachings remind us that the future has never been promised, and it has never been meant to be controlled. When you learn to witness your fear without feeding it, something inside you begins to expand. You become spacious, like the sky. Thoughts become clouds, drifting through. Some are dark, some are bright, some heavy with rain. But the sky does not become them. The sky simply holds them. In moments of overwhelm, place a hand gently over your heart. Feel the warmth of your own touch. Feel the rise and fall of the breath beneath your palm. This simple gesture is a reminder that even when the world feels enormous, you belong here. You are not lost, you are simply learning the terrain of your own inner landscape. Buddhist reminders when you feel lost often point you back to the simplest truths: breathe, soften, return. As the path unfolds, you begin to notice how often the mind clings to identity, to memories, to wounds, to hopes, to imagined futures. This clinging is subtle, but it is the root of so much suffering. The more tightly you grasp, the more the mind becomes tangled. But when you loosen your hold, even slightly, a tenderness emerges, the tenderness of allowing life to be life without demanding it be something more. This is how you protect your energy, not through rigid boundaries or walls of defensiveness, but through a gentle clarity that knows what your heart can carry and what it must release. Think of a leaf floating down a river. The leaf does not resist the water. It does not fight the current or try to return upstream. It simply moves with what is. This is not weakness, it is wisdom. The leaf remains intact not because it is strong, but because it does not resist the nature of things. The same is true for us. When we stop fighting life, life softens around us. What once felt like a storm becomes a shifting wind. What once felt like chaos becomes movement. What once felt like loss becomes a clearing. There is an ancient teaching that says, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. But this is not a warning, it is an invitation. To transform your mind is to reshape your entire experience of existence. When the mind softens, compassion blooms. When the mind becomes spacious, forgiveness is possible. When the mind becomes clear, wisdom rises like dawn breaking over distant hills. Reflect on someone who has hurt you, someone whose actions left a mark on your heart. Notice the tension that arises when you think of them. That tension is not the past, it is the story you continue to carry. Healing does not ask you to pretend the hurt never happened. It asks you to stop reopening the wound with your thoughts. When you let go of the story, even a little, peace finds room to breathe. Every step along this path, every breath taken with awareness, becomes a quiet revolution. You begin to observe rather than react. You begin to feel rather than flee. You begin to live rather than merely endure. And in these subtle changes, your entire world shifts. Tonight, as you listen, allow yourself to rest in the calm that arises when you stop fighting the present moment. Let the breath guide you back to yourself. Let the silence remind you that beneath all your worries, there is a part of you that has never been disturbed. It has never been broken. It has never been lost. It is the same awareness that ancient monks once cultivated in mountain temples. It is the same awareness that will guide you through the storms of your own life. You are walking a path walked by countless seekers before you, a path lit by wisdom older than memory. And with each step, you are returning, not to who you were, but to who you have always been beneath the noise. Rest gently into this truth. Let the night hold you. Let your breath soften you back into yourself. Part 3. When the heart learns to listen again. There comes a moment in every seeker's journey when the world grows strangely quiet, not because the noise outside has faded, but because something within has begun to soften. It is like the moment after a rainstorm when the earth still glistens with memory, when every leaf holds the echo of falling water and yet the air stands still, waiting. This moment marks the beginning of true listening, the kind of listening that does not rely on the ears but on the quiet intelligence of the heart. This is where our path continues tonight, in the tender space where the heart relearns how to listen, not to the world's demands, but to its own unspoken truths, shaped by timeless Buddhist wisdom and the gentle breath of inner awareness. When we speak of listening with the heart, we are not referring to emotion alone. Emotion can be loud, restless, and easily tangled. Listening with the heart means listening beneath emotion, beneath thought, beneath the many layers of identity and expectation that life has placed upon you. It is a listening that reveals what has always been there but was covered by worry, fear, or the endless pursuit of certainty. And so much of our suffering comes from deafness, not because we do not want to hear, but because the noise inside us is too loud. Anxiety, regret, desire, or the relentless pressure to be something other than what we are can drown out the quiet voice that knows the way home. The teachings call us back, gently reminding us that Buddhist wisdom begins where noise ends. Imagine a small village at the foot of a mountain. In this village lives an elderly monk who is known not for great miracles or profound sermons, but for his ability to listen. People travel from far-off places to sit with him on the wooden porch of his humble hut. They speak of heartbreak, of fear, of failure, of lost opportunities and abandoned dreams. Some cry, some tremble, some remain silent. The monk rarely gives advice. Instead, he listens with such presence that people begin to hear themselves clearly for the first time. It is said that the monk's greatest teaching was not in his words but in the spaciousness he offered, the spaciousness in which others discovered their own truths. This spaciousness is what we seek in our own hearts. In a world filled with constant stimulation, messages, screens, expectations, urgency, we forget how to dwell in silence. Silence becomes uncomfortable, even frightening. Many people seek distraction not because they enjoy it but because they fear what might arise if they stop running. Yet to transform your mind, you must first be willing to stop, even briefly, even imperfectly, and turn inward with the gentleness of a monk sitting quietly with the villagers of his life. Tonight, allow yourself to imagine your own inner world as a small village. Some parts of this village are peaceful, familiar, warm. Others are chaotic, neglected, or overshadowed by unresolved burdens. Some residents of this village are joyful, while others are weary from carrying old wounds. When you close your eyes and breathe slowly, you are walking through this inner village, noticing what is usually unseen. You may pass by the house of old regrets. You may notice the narrow alley where fear resides, whispering strange stories about what might go wrong. You may discover a quiet garden you have not visited in years, where forgiveness waits, patient and unchanging, like a tree that still blooms even when no one visits it. This inner journey requires courage, but it is the courage of stillness, not struggle. That is the essence of Buddhist lessons for anxiety. You do not defeat anxiety by resisting it. You soften its edges by learning to listen to the truth beneath it. Anxiety is often a messenger, an invitation to look inward at a place you have neglected. When you listen deeply, without judgment, the message becomes clearer. Perhaps anxiety is telling you that you are living out of alignment, that you are giving too much of yourself away, that you are carrying expectations that do not belong to you. Or perhaps it is simply reminding you to breathe, to slow down, to remember that you do not need to hold the entire world on your shoulders. One Zen story tells of a young man who approached his master, saying his mind was full of storms and confusion. The master handed him a cup of tea and began pouring, not stopping even when the tea overflowed. Startled, the young man exclaimed, "The cup is full. No more can go in." The master nodded, "Just like your mind. How can clarity enter when it is already overflowing? You must empty it first." This emptying is not about forgetting your responsibilities or abandoning your life. It is about creating enough inner space for wisdom to breathe. If you want to find peace in chaos, you must first make room inside yourself for peace to enter. Often, when people feel lost, they imagine that they must search somewhere far away for answers. Buddhist reminders when you feel lost gently reveal the opposite. The answers arise when you stop searching outside and begin turning inward. The path back to yourself is not a dramatic journey, it is a return to simplicity. It is the moment when you choose to be present with what is, rather than chasing what was or fearing what might be. It is the moment when the heart whispers truths that the mind has long ignored. Listening with the heart becomes easier when you begin to trust the wisdom of your own experience. Every emotion you have ever felt carries a lesson. Every mistake has shaped your understanding. Every heartbreak has cracked open a doorway through which compassion can enter. When you learn to live without fear, you stop avoiding these lessons and begin welcoming them as part of your growth. Fear shrinks when courage begins to listen. Many people believe courage means being unshakable, but the teachings remind us that true courage is gentle. It is the courage to sit with yourself in silence, to acknowledge your own vulnerabilities, to hold your own suffering with compassion rather than judgment. It is the courage to protect your energy by saying no when your heart is exhausted, and yes when your spirit recognizes truth. It is the courage to let go of patterns that once kept you safe but now keep you small. Imagine yourself sitting at the edge of a quiet forest. The sound of leaves rustling, the distant flow of a river, the steady heartbeat within your chest, everything invites you to relax your grip on life. The forest does not rush. The river does not worry. The sky does not wish to be anything other than sky. When you allow yourself to rest in this simplicity, something inside you begins to align with the natural rhythm of existence. This alignment is the heart's listening. This alignment is the beginning of understanding. You may begin to notice how often your mind tries to rewrite the past or predict the future. This is its nature. But when you bring your attention gently back to the breath, you transform your mind from a restless wanderer into a quiet observer. This observer is the gateway to Buddhist wisdom. It is the part of you that sees without clinging, that feels without drowning, that thinks without believing every thought. In this soft awareness, you begin to understand that your worth does not depend on what you achieve, how others view you, or what you control. Your worth is inherent, like the quiet glow of a candle in a dark room. No wind can extinguish the flame that is meant to burn within you. And the more you nurture it, even through small acts of kindness toward yourself, the brighter it becomes. This is how you protect your energy, not through walls, but through inner clarity. As you listen to these reflections, feel the way your breath deepens. Feel the subtle loosening in the chest, the gentle unfurling in the mind. This is the heart opening, slowly, cautiously, trustfully. This is the moment when old pain begins to dissolve, like winter frost melting beneath the morning sun. You do not need to force healing. Healing happens naturally when the heart learns to listen again. And tonight, as the world around you dims and the quiet grows wider, remember that every moment of presence brings you closer to yourself. Every breath is a step on the path. Every act of listening is a return to the home you have been seeking all along. Part 4. The mountain that waits inside you. There is a place within every human being that does not tremble, even when the world shakes. It is ancient, unmoving, vast, like a mountain rooted deep beneath the earth. Most people never reach this inner mountain because their lives are spent running across the surface of their minds, chasing thoughts, fleeing discomfort, grasping at temporary joys, or drowning in temporary sorrows. But Buddhist teachings remind us that beneath the turbulence of our emotions lies a stillness untouched by time. Tonight, we walk toward that mountain, not by force, but by slowing down enough to notice the path that has always been beneath our feet. Imagine a lone mountain rising above the clouds. From afar, it seems unchanging, yet every moment the wind shakes its ridges, the rain softens its edges, the sun warms its stone. The mountain is always in motion, yet always steady. This is the paradox of inner strength. It is not rigid, but deeply flexible. It does not resist life's seasons, but receives them fully. To find peace in chaos, you must learn to become like this mountain, vast enough to witness your storms without believing you are the storm. Many people spend their days caught in the restless movement of their minds. Thoughts swirl, emotions rise like sudden weather, and fear casts long shadows across their inner world. To them, the mind feels like a wild river, untamable and unpredictable. But the teachings say this river can be crossed, not by stopping the water, but by discovering the ground beneath it. Buddhist wisdom is not about silencing the mind, it is about seeing through the noise to the clarity beneath. When you transform your mind, it is not the storm that disappears but your relationship to the storm that changes. In an old story, a novice monk asked his teacher why he suffered even after years of meditation. The teacher led him to a lake high in the mountains. The water was murky from the novice stirring it earlier. The teacher said, "When you stop disturbing the water, it becomes clear. Your mind is the same. Stop stirring it with constant fear, regret, and expectation. Let it settle, and it will reveal the truth." This truth is simple. Clarity is always there, but the mind hides it with its endless movement. Consider how often your thoughts pull you away from the present moment. You relive conversations, rehearse imagined futures, judge yourself for past choices, or worry about losing what you love. These thoughts create layers upon layers of inner fog. But beneath that fog is a clarity that does not vanish simply because you cannot see it. The sun does not cease to shine when clouds appear, it simply waits. In the same way, the mountain of your being waits beneath the noise of daily life. To live without fear does not mean you stop feeling fear. It means you understand its nature. Fear is a visitor, not a resident. It enters, asks for your attention, and eventually leaves, unless you cling to it. The more you try to push fear away, the more tightly it clings to you. But when you observe it without judgment, fear begins to dissolve. Fear cannot survive the light of awareness. This is one of the most profound Buddhist lessons for anxiety. Suffering intensifies when you resist what is already here. But when you turn toward your fear with gentle attention, you take away its power. Sit quietly for a moment. Feel your breath as it rises and falls. Notice the subtle sensations in your body, the warmth in your chest, the heaviness in your limbs, the way the breath moves like a tide. This simple act of awareness is the beginning of your return to the mountain inside you. The breath is your guide, your companion, your teacher. It is a reminder that life unfolds one moment at a time, and that peace is always found in the present moment, not in the future you chase or the past you mourn. Imagine now that you are walking along a narrow path leading up a mountainside. The air grows cooler, the world quieter. The trees whisper ancient truths in their rustling leaves. The path bends and shifts, sometimes steep, sometimes gentle. With each step, you leave behind the noise of ordinary life, the judgments, the comparisons, the worry about what others think, the endless pressure to be more, to achieve more, to prove something to someone who may not even be looking. As you climb, your breath deepens. Your shoulders loosen. Your mind expands like the sky unfolding above the peaks. Halfway up, you stop to rest. You gaze at the valley below, where your old worries still wander like small animals searching for something they cannot name. From above, they seem insignificant. This is the gift of perspective. When you remain close to your fears, they feel enormous. When you rise above them, they lose their weight. Protect your energy by rising, not by hiding. Rise above the illusions the mind creates, and suddenly the world becomes spacious again. As you continue the climb, you begin to realize something profound. The mountain you are climbing is not outside of you. It is the inner terrain of your being. Each step is a moment of awareness. Each breath is a letting go. Each quiet pause is a return. Buddhism for beginners often emphasizes external forms, rituals, concepts, stories, but the deeper path invites you inward, toward the unmoving center from which wisdom flows. Near the summit, the wind blows stronger, as if testing your resolve. But instead of resisting it, you allow it to pass through you. You stand still, feeling the wind move around you, through you, past you. In this moment, you understand something the monks have taught for centuries: nothing can disturb you unless you cling to it. Thoughts are wind. Emotions are wind. Fear is wind. They come, they go, and only your awareness remains. Eventually, you reach the peak, a quiet, sacred place above the world's noise. You sit on the cold stone and close your eyes. The silence here is unlike any other. It is not the absence of sound, but the presence of stillness. This is the heart of Buddhist wisdom. In this stillness, you discover a truth that cannot be spoken but can only be experienced. You have never been separate from the peace you seek. You have always carried the mountain within you. The mind may wander again tomorrow. The storms of life may return. But once you have touched the mountain's stillness, you never forget the way back. You begin to live differently, not rushing, not resisting, not grasping. You begin to see life with new clarity. You begin to understand how to stay calm and positive even when the world stumbles. You begin to move with grace through chaos, like a stream flowing around rocks effortlessly. And perhaps the greatest realization is this: no matter how lost you feel, no matter how heavy your burdens, no matter how uncertain your path, the mountain within you never disappears. It waits. Patiently. Quietly. Unshaken. Unmoved. Ready for your return. Tonight, as you prepare to rest, let the breath guide you back to that inner summit. Let the silence hold you like a soft cloak. Let the truth settle in your bones: you are not the storm. You are the mountain watching the storm pass. Part 5. The river that teaches you to let go. There is a river that runs through every human life, though few ever truly see it. It flows quietly beneath the noise of our thoughts, beneath the weight of our expectations, beneath the tangled roots of our fears. It is the river of change, of impermanence, of constant becoming. And whether we realize it or not, we are always standing in its waters. Tonight, as we continue this long journey into Buddhist teachings, we walk down to the riverbank together, not to control the current, but to learn how to move with it. This is a lesson that transforms your mind gently, without force, teaching you how to stay calm and positive even when life moves in ways you did not expect. Before we continue, this is one of the special chapters where I gently invite you, dear listener of Daily Dharma Listening, to subscribe, like, and share if these teachings nourish you. Your presence widens this circle of peaceful hearts, helping others find peace in chaos, helping others learn to live without fear, and helping spread Buddhist wisdom to those who quietly seek it. Now, imagine yourself standing at the edge of a wide, slow-moving river. The water glimmers in the fading light, carrying with it leaves, twigs, small reflections of the sky. The river does not resist what enters it. It does not cling to what passes through. Everything is carried in its own time, moved by a current older than memory. This river teaches the first truth of letting go: life flows whether we cling or not. The question is not whether the river changes, but whether we learn to change with it. So much of human suffering arises from resistance, from the mind's refusal to accept what already is. When you resist change, you create tension in your body, worry in your thoughts, and heaviness in your spirit. This is why Buddhist lessons for anxiety often begin with acceptance, not passive resignation, but clear-eyed acknowledgement. Acceptance means seeing reality clearly without adding layers of fear or judgment. Acceptance is the first step toward freedom. Consider your own life. How many things have you clung to long after they ceased to nourish you? Old relationships, old identities, old grudges, old dreams that no longer fit the person you have become. Human beings cling because they fear emptiness, yet the teachings remind us that emptiness is not a void, it is a space for new growth. When you let go, you are not losing yourself. You are releasing what blocks the light from entering. The river does not cling to the leaves it carries. It holds them gently, then releases them without regret. In the same way, you can hold your experiences gently, honoring them, learning from them, without trying to keep them from moving on. This is how you protect your energy, not by building walls, but by allowing life to flow through you without becoming tangled in every passing emotion. There is a Zen story of two monks who were traveling together. They came to a river where a young woman stood, unable to cross. The older monk lifted her onto his back, carried her through the water, and set her down on the other side. Hours later, the younger monk burst out, "Why did you carry that woman? We monks are not supposed to touch women." The older monk replied, "I set her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" This is the essence of letting go. Most suffering comes not from what happens, but from what we continue to carry long after life has asked us to release it. Look into your heart now. What are you still carrying? What story, what regret, what fear has become heavier with time? Perhaps it is the fear of not being enough. Perhaps it is the weight of past mistakes. Perhaps it is the ache of loss that has not yet dissolved. Buddhist reminders: when you feel lost, gently guide you back to the truth. You are not meant to carry everything forever. You can place some things down. You can let the river take them. You can return to yourself. The river also teaches another truth: everything changes, but not everything needs to be controlled. The mind often believes it must manage every outcome, predict every possibility, and guard against every threat. This creates a life of constant tension, as if you are swimming upstream, exhausting yourself against a current that will never stop flowing. To live without fear is not to eliminate uncertainty, it is to surrender the illusion that you must control everything. When you surrender the need to control, peace arrives like a gentle tide. Imagine dipping your hand into the water. The river moves around your fingers, cool and fluid. No matter how tightly you grasp the water, it slips through your hands. The more softly you allow it, the more you can feel it. This is the nature of life. When you hold too tightly to what must change, you feel anxiety. When you open your palm, you feel connection. When you open your palm even further, you feel peace. Now imagine stepping into the river. The current wraps around your legs. You feel its pull, steady but not forceful. The river does not ask you to fight it, only to feel it. You wade deeper, letting the water rise around your waist. With each step, something inside you loosens: old beliefs, old worries, old expectations that no longer serve you. The river takes them gently, carrying them downstream. Not because they were wrong, but because they have fulfilled their purpose. People often fear letting go because they misunderstand what letting go means. Letting go does not erase your memories or invalidate your experiences. Letting go simply means you no longer allow those memories to dictate your present. It means you stop giving your fears the power to shape your identity. It means you choose to transform your mind rather than remain trapped in an outdated version of yourself. There is another story of a teacher who held up a glass of water and asked his students how heavy it was. They gave different answers. The teacher said, "The weight does not matter. What matters is how long you hold it. Hold it for a minute, and it's fine. Hold it for an hour, and your arm aches. Hold it for a day, and your arm becomes numb." Life's burdens are the same. If you set them down for a while, you regain your strength. If you refuse to let go, you break under the weight. As the river flows around you, imagine placing your own burdens into the water, gently, without shame, without judgment. Watch them drift away, shrinking as they move downstream. Notice how your body relaxes, how your breath deepens, how your mind becomes more spacious. This spaciousness is the heart of Buddhist wisdom. In spaciousness, healing arises naturally, like blossoms opening in spring. Letting go is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice, a gentle returning to yourself, a quiet whisper reminding you to release what no longer fosters peace. Some days you will let go easily. Other days you will cling again. This is okay. The river does not rush you. It simply continues to flow, reminding you with its rhythm that life is always moving forward. As the night deepens and the water begins to cool, imagine stepping back onto the riverbank. You feel lighter, clearer, more present. The sky above you stretches wide, dotted with stars like ancient lanterns guiding you home. The river continues its soundless journey, but a part of it now moves within you. You carry its lesson: let life flow, let the past drift away, let the heart open to whatever comes next. You are not meant to fight the current. You are meant to learn from it. Tonight, let the river teach you how to release the heaviness you no longer need. Let it remind you that peace is always possible when you stop clinging and allow yourself to be carried gently forward. Download as audio. Part 6. The silent room where your mind becomes clear. There is a room within you that no one else can enter, a silent chamber untouched by the noise of the world. It is not made of walls or windows. It does not belong to any physical place. It exists in the quietest corner of your consciousness, waiting for the day you finally step inside. Most people never do. They spend their entire lives wandering outside this room, lost in the endless corridors of thought, emotion, and illusion. But the ancient Buddhist teachings say that to truly transform your mind, you must learn to enter this inner room, sit in its silence, and listen to the truth that arises when everything else falls away. Tonight, our journey turns inward toward that silent space. The path is simple, but not easy. To reach it, you must pass through the outer layers of yourself, the restless mind, the emotional storms, the identities and stories you have carried for years. You cannot force your way in. You cannot break down the door. You can only enter when you become quiet enough to hear the subtle invitation whispering through your awareness. Imagine walking down a long hallway within your mind. The walls are lined with memories, some warm, some painful, some long forgotten but still heavy. The doors along the hallway lead to familiar rooms: the room of fear, where you store all your worries about the future; the room of regret, where painful memories linger; the room of comparison, where you judge yourself against others; the room of expectation, where you cling to how life should be. You have visited these rooms countless times, often without realizing it. They are loud rooms, filled with voices that echo endlessly. But tonight, we walk past them. We are heading somewhere deeper. At the end of the hallway is a simple wooden door. You reach for the handle, unsure what you will find. When the door opens, you enter a room with no sound, no memories, no judgments, only vast stillness. This is your inner refuge. The silent room where your mind becomes clear. Here, Buddhist wisdom comes alive not through words, but through direct experience. Here, you discover how to stay calm and positive not by changing your circumstances, but by changing your relationship to them. You sit upon the floor, feeling the depth of this silence. At first, the mind protests. It does not understand stillness. It begins its usual dance, bringing up unfinished tasks, repeating old conversations, imagining future disasters, replaying fears over and over. This is the nature of the untamed mind. But in this room, you do not chase these thoughts. You do not fight them. You simply watch them, like clouds passing through an open sky. This watching is the beginning of clarity. Eventually, a shift happens. The thoughts slow, the emotions settle, and you begin to sense a deeper layer beneath everything you thought you were. This layer is vast, calm, and unmoving, like a still lake reflecting the moon. In this awareness, you find the ability to live without fear, not because fear disappears, but because you no longer identify with it. Fear becomes just another cloud drifting through the silent sky of your mind. Imagine now that the room begins to expand. The walls dissolve, revealing a boundless space that stretches into infinity. This is not emptiness in the ordinary sense. It is a fullness beyond the grasp of words, a spaciousness where all tension dissolves. Buddhist lessons for anxiety often point to this spaciousness as the medicine for a crowded mind. Anxiety tightens your world, shrinking your possibilities. Spaciousness expands it, reminding you that you are not as trapped as you believe. In this infinite space, try to locate your worries. Where are they now? Where is the fear that once clenched your chest? Where is the regret that haunted your nights? They become smaller here, like distant stars. You can see them, but they no longer hold power over you. This is the gift of the silent room. It shows you that your suffering is not you. It is something you experience. And what you experience, you can release. Consider a moment in your life when confusion overwhelmed you. Perhaps you felt lost, uncertain, unable to choose a direction. Buddhist reminders when you feel lost do not tell you to run away from the confusion, they teach you to sit with it. In the silent room of your mind, confusion loses its sharp edges. It becomes a soft mist, gradually lifting as clarity emerges from within. The mind is not something you must conquer. It is something you must learn to understand, gently and patiently. Now imagine a candle in the center of this silent room. The flame is small, but steady. It represents your awareness, the part of you that observes without judgment. When thoughts arise, the flame remains steady. When emotions surge, the flame remains steady. When fear whispers, the flame remains steady. This awareness is your true refuge. It is the essence of Buddhist teachings. It is the part of you that never changes, even as the world around you shifts constantly. Sit with this candle. Feel its warmth. Notice how it illuminates the space around you, showing you truths you could not see before. You begin to understand the meaning of protecting your energy. To protect your energy is to guard this flame, not through rigid avoidance, but through mindful presence. It means choosing what enters your inner room. It means deciding which thoughts to feed and which to release. It means recognizing that not every emotion requires your full attention, not every conflict deserves your peace, not every fear deserves your loyalty. As the silence deepens, you remember something profound. The silent room is always here. You do not need a meditation cushion, a temple, or a distant retreat to enter it. You can step into it while washing dishes, walking along a busy street, or sitting in traffic. The doorway is always open. The path is always available. All it requires is a moment of awareness, a moment when you pause long enough to return to yourself. There is a teaching that says, silence is not the absence of sound, it is the absence of self. This does not mean the absence of identity, but the absence of the small, fragile self built from fear, ego, and habit. In the silent room, you become the deeper self, the self that is spacious, compassionate, and wise. This is the self that knows how to find peace in chaos, how to live without fear, how to transform your mind not through force but through presence. Before leaving this silent room, take one last breath, deep, slow, gentle. Let the breath fill the space within you, touching every corner, softening every tension, dissolving every lingering fear. With your exhale, imagine carrying a piece of this stillness back into the world. Imagine it settling in your chest, a quiet strength that follows you through every moment of your life. When you step out of the room and back into the hallway of your mind, everything feels different. The loud rooms of fear, regret, comparison, and expectation still exist, but their doors are closed now, quiet. You know they are there, but you also know you are not trapped within them. You carry the key to the silent room. You can return whenever you need to heal, to breathe, to remember who you truly are. Tonight, as you rest, allow this inner clarity to cradle you gently. Let the silence wrap around your heart. Let the flame of awareness burn softly within you. And know that every time you enter the silent room, you come one breath closer to the deepest peace of your life. Part 7. When suffering becomes the doorway. There comes a moment in every spiritual journey when the heart breaks open, not from weakness, but from the sheer weight of living. No one escapes this moment. It may arrive quietly, like a slow erosion of joy, or it may descend suddenly, like a storm tearing through everything familiar. In these moments, people often believe something has gone terribly wrong. They think they are falling apart, failing, or losing the life they worked so hard to build. But Buddhist teachings offer a different truth, one that feels almost impossible to accept when suffering is raw and immediate. The truth is this: the very thing you fear most, the suffering you desperately wish to avoid, is often the doorway to your deepest transformation. Tonight, we walk toward that doorway together. Not to glorify pain, and not to chase suffering, but to understand its nature. To see it clearly. To dissolve the fear that comes from believing your suffering defines you. And to remember that within every moment of pain lies a hidden path back to yourself, a path paved with Buddhist wisdom, grounded in compassion, and illuminated by awareness. Imagine a seed buried beneath the earth. In the darkness of the soil, it cracks open. From the outside, it looks like destruction. But from within, it is expansion. The breaking is not the end of the seed, it is the beginning of its growth. Human suffering is the same. When something inside you breaks, it is not your destruction, it is your unfolding. But the mind does not understand this. The mind clings to comfort, familiarity, and predictability. When pain arises, the mind panics, searching for escape. It tells stories: this should not be happening, I cannot handle this, my life is falling apart. These stories create more suffering than the pain itself. This is why Buddhist lessons for anxiety emphasize understanding the mind stories. The mind is like a frightened child, reacting from habit rather than truth. When you observe your suffering without believing the stories around it, something profound shifts. The fear loosens. The chaos softens. The doorway opens. Consider a time in your life when heartbreak shattered you. Perhaps you lost someone you loved. Perhaps your trust was betrayed. Perhaps life forced you into a change you were not ready to face. In the moment, it felt unbearable. Yet look at who you are now. Something in you is deeper, stronger, wiser. You survived the very thing you feared. And the wound that once felt like an ending became the place where new understanding entered. Buddhist wisdom teaches that suffering is not punishment. It is not a sign of failure. It is the natural friction of human existence, the pressure that turns coal into diamonds, the fire that shapes metal into tools, the waves that smooth rough stones into polished gems. Without friction, nothing changes. Without discomfort, nothing awakens. Without suffering, you would never learn to live without fear. But this is not a call to seek suffering, it is a call to stop running from it. When you run, suffering chases you. When you hide, suffering grows. But when you turn toward it, with awareness, with curiosity, with compassion, you discover that suffering is not a monster but a messenger. It reveals where you are still clinging. It shows you the places that still need healing. It points to the patterns keeping you stuck. It tells you where to grow. Imagine sitting in front of your suffering, as if it were a person. Instead of turning away, you look at it gently. You ask, "What are you trying to teach me?" At first, suffering may stay silent. It may resist your attention. But eventually, it speaks. Sometimes it says, "You have been carrying this weight alone for too long." Sometimes it whispers, "You are clinging to something that wants to leave." Sometimes it cries, "You have ignored your own heart for years." And sometimes, it simply says, "It's time to let go." Letting go is not easy. It feels like loss. It feels like stepping into emptiness. But emptiness is not something to fear. In Buddhism for beginners, emptiness is one of the first teachings, misunderstood but deeply liberating. Emptiness means spaciousness. It means freedom from attachment. It means being open to new possibilities, new joys, new wisdom. When you let go, you create space. And in that space, healing appears. Think of a clenched fist. When it releases, the hand is empty, but it is also free. Free to touch, to receive, to create. Your heart is the same. When it stops clinging, whether to a person, a past, a belief, or a fear, it becomes open again. And in that openness, you rediscover who you truly are beneath the layers of suffering. There is an old teaching that says, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Pain happens, loss, illness, conflict, uncertainty. But suffering is the mind's reaction to pain. Suffering is the refusal to accept reality. Suffering is the story that the pain should not exist. When you transform your mind, you learn to allow pain without creating suffering. You learn to feel deeply without drowning. You learn to heal without hiding. Now imagine walking through a dense forest. The path is dark, unfamiliar. The trees tower above you, casting long shadows across the ground. This forest represents your suffering, the parts of your life that feel overwhelming or unclear. But as you walk deeper, your eyes begin to adjust. You notice the textures of the bark, the pattern of leaves, the gentle sounds of creatures moving in the underbrush. You begin to see beauty where there was once only fear. And slowly, the forest stops feeling like a threat and starts feeling like a teacher. This is what happens when you stop resisting your suffering. The darkness becomes less frightening. The unknown becomes less threatening. You begin to find peace in chaos, not because the chaos disappears, but because you meet it with awareness rather than fear. Buddhist reminders: when you feel lost, say, pause, breathe, observe. You are not lost, you are simply between two chapters. The door behind you has closed. The door ahead is not yet visible. This in-between space is sacred. It is the space where transformation happens quietly, like seeds breaking underground. You may not feel strong in your suffering. But strength is not the absence of pain, it is the willingness to face it. Courage is not loud, it is quiet persistence. Healing is not sudden, it is gentle and patient. You cannot force the heart to open, but you can create the conditions for opening, like sunlight warming the soil, like rain softening the earth, like stillness calming the mind. And so, suffering becomes the doorway. When you step through it, slowly, tenderly, mindfully, you enter a deeper part of yourself, a part that has waited patiently beneath the noise of your life. This part of you knows how to live with clarity. It knows how to protect your energy without closing your heart. It knows how to move forward without fear. It knows how to remain calm even when the river of life rushes wildly. Tonight, as you listen, let your suffering rest beside you instead of fighting it. Let it be a companion rather than an enemy. Let it show you where to soften, where to return, where to begin again. And know this, every step you take through suffering is a step toward awakening. Every tear is a seed of transformation. Every moment of pain is a gateway to deeper peace. You are not breaking. You are opening. You are not failing. You are evolving. You are not lost. You are on the path. Part 8. The art of walking through the world lightly. There is a way of moving through the world that does not add weight to your spirit, a way of living that does not exhaust your mind, a way of breathing that does not tighten your chest. It is the art of walking lightly, the ancient method of meeting life without carrying unnecessary burdens. This is not a superficial lightness, not a careless drifting through responsibilities, but a deep, intentional ease born from understanding the nature of the mind and the impermanence of all things. Tonight, we explore this art, the art of living in such a way that each step becomes a meditation, each breath a renewal, each moment an opening rather than a closing. Imagine waking in the morning and feeling, even before rising, the familiar heaviness pressing down on you. Responsibilities waiting. Expectations looming. Memories whispering. Worries gathering like clouds before a storm. Most people step into their day already burdened, already exhausted, already bracing for what might go wrong. They walk through the world with a kind of invisible armor, a tight jaw, a guarded heart, a restless mind that scans constantly for danger. But Buddhist teachings remind us that this armor is made not of protection, but of tension. It does not shield us from suffering, it creates suffering. To walk lightly, you must first learn to see what makes you heavy. Not physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. The heaviness comes from clinging, from the mind holding on to what it does not need to carry. Old stories, old hurts, imagined futures, forced expectations. If you carry these with you, each day becomes a battlefield. But if you learn to release them, each day becomes an open field where your steps fall softly like petals. Walking lightly begins with awareness. Imagine watching yourself from a distance as you move through your daily life. Notice how often you rush. Notice how often you tense your shoulders without realizing it. Notice how often your mind leaks into the future or spirals back into the past. Notice the small frictions, the annoyance, the impatience, the subtle self-criticism that accumulate like dust inside you. Awareness is the sweep of a gentle broom through your mind, clearing space so your spirit can breathe again. One of the simplest ways to walk lightly is to return, again and again, to the breath. Not to control it, but to witness it. Breath is the bridge between the body and the mind, the anchor that brings you back to the present moment. When you breathe consciously, even for 3 seconds, something inside you releases. You soften. You become less reactive. This is how you learn to stay calm and positive, not because life becomes easier, but because your relationship to life becomes softer. Imagine you are walking in a forest path at dawn. The air is cool and still. Each step presses gently into the earth, leaving only a temporary mark. The trees around you stand tall, unmoved by your presence. The leaves rustle softly as if whispering encouragement. You are not rushing. You are not trying to arrive anywhere. You are simply walking. And in this walking, your mind settles. Your body loosens. You begin to understand what it means to find peace in chaos, not by eliminating chaos, but by moving lightly through it. Walking lightly also means letting go of the idea that you must carry the world on your back. Many people believe their importance is measured by how much weight they can endure, how busy they are, how stressed they feel, how much responsibility they hold. But the teachings remind us that stress is not a sign of virtue, it is a sign of imbalance. To transform your mind, you must question the stories that tell you your worth is tied to struggle. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to soften. You are allowed to walk lightly even when the world expects heaviness. Consider the image of a bird perched on a thin branch. The bird does not fear the branch breaking because its trust is not in the branch, it is in its own wings. In the same way, when you trust your inner strength, your capacity to adapt, your ability to return to yourself, you stop fearing what life might take away. You live without fear not because life becomes stable, but because you become stable in your awareness. Walking lightly requires forgiveness, not just of others, but of yourself. You cannot move with ease if you drag self-blame behind you. Think of the mistakes you made years ago, the things you still replay in your mind as if punishing yourself could change the past. These memories are heavy stones in your pockets. You carry them out of habit, not necessity. Buddhist reminders when you feel lost often point to this. You must release the weight that keeps you from moving forward. You must let the past dissolve like mist in the morning sun. Imagine now a small pool of water. If you strike it with your hand, the surface breaks, ripples spreading outward. But if you place your hand gently on the water, the surface hardly moves. This is the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is striking the water, quick, forceful, unconscious. Responding is placing your hand gently, aware, intentional, grounded. When you respond instead of react, you walk lightly. You protect your energy. You choose clarity over chaos. There is a Zen story of a traveler who carried a large sack on his back. When asked what was inside, he said, "Everything I might need someday." The sack grew heavier with each mile until the traveler could barely stand. A monk watching him said, "If the road is long, why carry so much?" The traveler replied, "What if I need it?" The monk answered, "What if carrying it keeps you from reaching where you are meant to go?" This story mirrors the way many people live, carrying emotional baggage, just in case, clinging to old identities, guarding old wounds. Walking lightly means recognizing what you truly need and releasing what you do not. To walk lightly is also to walk with compassion. When you soften your own heart, you naturally soften toward others. You stop expecting perfection. You stop taking things personally. You stop adding unnecessary weight to your interactions. You begin to see that everyone is carrying something heavy, even if you cannot see it. This understanding creates spaciousness in your relationships. You become kinder, more patient, more open. And in this openness, peace grows naturally. Imagine yourself again on the forest path. This time, you notice the small details, the delicate veins of a leaf, the quiet flutter of wings overhead, the gentle curve of a fallen branch. When your mind is not weighed down, You see beauty where you once saw nothing. You feel gratitude where you once felt indifference. You experience presence where you once felt absence. This is the gift of walking lightly. The world becomes alive again. Walking lightly does not mean avoiding challenges. It means meeting them with awareness instead of fear. It means moving with curiosity instead of resistance. It means trusting that you can handle whatever comes, not because the world is predictable, but because you are learning to be steady even in uncertainty. Imagine carrying a lantern through a dark path. The light reaches only a few steps ahead, but that is enough. You do not need to see the entire journey. You only need to see where your foot lands next. This lantern is your awareness. As long as you carry it, you can walk lightly even through the darkest moments of your life. Tonight, as you rest, imagine placing down the invisible bags you have been carrying. The fear, the regret, the pressure to be perfect, the need to control, the weight of old stories, set them all down beside you. Feel how your body softens. Feel how your mind expands. Feel how your breath deepens. This is the art of walking through the world lightly. And every time you return to this lightness, you step closer to your truest self. Part 9. The mirror that shows who you really are. There are moments in life when everything slows, when the rush of tasks, the swirl of thoughts, and the noise of the world fade just enough for you to feel something subtle stirring within you. It may happen late at night, when the house is quiet and the weight of your loneliness grows tender. It may happen at dawn, when the first light touches the horizon and your breath softens for reasons you cannot explain. Or it may happen in the midst of suffering, when something familiar breaks apart, leaving you face to face with the truth you have avoided for years. These moments are mirrors, and they show you not your face, not your stories, not the identity you built to survive, but your essence. The part of you untouched by praise or blame, by success or failure, by fear or hope. This chapter is an invitation to sit with that mirror, to see yourself clearly through the lens of Buddhist wisdom, to understand how to stay calm and positive not by pretending everything is fine, but by seeing deeply into the nature of your mind and your life. We are not here to chase an idea of who you think you should be. We are here to meet who you truly are. Imagine a monk polishing a mirror. Every day, he wipes away dust, fingerprints, and smudges. One day a student asks him, "Why do you polish it so often? Does it get dirty that quickly?" The monk smiles and replies, "I polish the mirror not so it remains clean, but so I remember that clarity requires tending." This is the mind, naturally clear, but often obscured. The dust is not who you are. It is simply what settles when you are not paying attention: old beliefs, inherited fears, childhood wounds, unexamined desires, social expectations, and countless stories you've told yourself for so many years that they seem like absolute truth. When you sit quietly and look inward, you begin to notice the dust. You notice how your thoughts are not neutral observers of life but powerful storytellers. You notice how your heart reacts to those stories, tightening or softening depending on their tone. You notice how easily you identify with the stories, saying, "This is me. This is my truth. This is my fate." But Buddhist teachings gently remind you that thoughts are weather, not identity. Identity is not fixed but fluid, like the sky that holds all storms and all clearings without ever becoming them. The mirror begins to reveal deeper layers when you stop trying to control the reflection. You cannot force clarity. You cannot demand peace. You cannot insist that your mind be quiet. You must simply create the conditions for clarity to arise naturally. This is why meditation, even in its simplest form, is transformative. When you sit, breathe, and do nothing else, the dust settles. Thoughts drift like clouds. Emotions soften. And suddenly, the reflection becomes clearer. You begin to recognize the difference between who you are and what you experience. Imagine now that you are standing before a large, still pond. The water is so calm that it reflects the sky perfectly. You see yourself reflected there, not the physical form, but the felt sense of your existence. When the wind picks up and the surface ripples, the reflection distorts. Your mind panics, thinking you have lost yourself. But the water has not changed in essence, only the surface has moved. The same is true for you. When life becomes turbulent, you forget your deeper self. You think, I am my stress. I am my fear. I am my sadness. But these are only ripples. When the wind settles, the stillness returns, and the true reflection emerges again. To transform your mind, you must learn to recognize the ripples for what they are. A moment of anger does not make you an angry person. A moment of fear does not make you weak. A moment of confusion does not make you lost. Buddhist reminders when you feel lost tell you this again and again: what you are experiencing is not your identity. It is a temporary condition, like clouds passing through the sky of your awareness. This mirror also reveals the places where you cling. Clinging creates distortions. When you hold on to praise, you fear failure. When you cling to success, you fear loss. When you cling to an identity, you fear change. But when you release the clinging, the reflection softens. Life moves through you more easily. You learn how to protect your energy without building walls. You learn how to find peace in chaos without forcing control. You learn how to live without fear by understanding the nature of fear itself. There is a well-known teaching about two arrows. The first arrow is pain, inevitable in life. The second arrow is the story you tell about the pain, optional but often more painful than the first. The first arrow says, I have been hurt. The second arrow says, I will always be hurt, or this means something is wrong with me, or I cannot handle this. Tonight, the mirror invites you to remove the second arrow. Feel the pain without adding the story. Feel the emotion without adding judgment. Feel the moment without creating a narrative about what it means. Imagine a person holding a heavy backpack. They have carried it for so long that they believe it is part of their body. But when they finally set it down, they feel lighter in ways they did not know were possible. This backpack is the story of who you think you are, the identity formed by past experiences, cultural expectations, and self-judgment. Buddhist teachings say that you do not need to get rid of your identity, you simply need to recognize that it is not fixed. You can set it down. You can reshape it. You can step beyond it. Now imagine walking into a quiet room with a single mirror on the wall. The room is dim, and the air feels sacred. You stand before the mirror, expecting to see your face. But instead, the mirror shows your inner world, your intentions, your fears, your longings, your kindness, your hidden wounds, your quiet strength. It shows the parts of you you rarely acknowledge. It shows the parts of you you try to hide. It shows the parts of you that make you whole. At first, the reflection is overwhelming. But slowly, you soften. You realize that everything reflected there is human, natural, understandable. You feel compassion, not self-pity, but genuine compassion, for the person you are and the person you are becoming. Compassion is the balm that clears the dust from the mirror. When you are kind to yourself, the reflection becomes more accurate, more gentle, more true. Self-compassion does not mean excusing harmful actions or avoiding responsibility. It means acknowledging your humanity. It means seeing yourself not as broken, but as growing. It means understanding that healing is not linear. It means recognizing that you are not alone in your struggle. Every human being carries their own mirror, their own dust, their own reflection hidden beneath layers of experience. Now imagine the mirror speaking to you, not in words, but in presence. It tells you, you are enough. Not because you have achieved something, not because you have proven yourself, not because others approve of you, but because your existence itself carries inherent worth. This truth is easy to forget in a world that measures value through accomplishments. But Buddhist wisdom reminds you that your worth is not earned, it is recognized. The mirror also reveals impermanence. When you see clearly, you understand that everything you cling to, your fears, your accomplishments, your pain, your joy, will change. This realization does not create sadness. It creates freedom. You learn to savor joy without clinging to it. You learn to meet pain without fearing it. You learn to let life move through you like breath, like light, like water. In the deepest clarity, you discover something extraordinary. The mirror itself dissolves. There is no separation between the viewer and the view. There is only awareness, spacious and luminous. This awareness is who you truly are. Not the stories. Not the fears. Not the identity. But the witness. The knowing. The presence that remains even when everything else falls away. Tonight, as you rest, imagine wiping one last layer of dust from the mirror. Feel the reflection brighten. Feel the fog lift. Feel the truth emerge from beneath the noise of your mind. You do not need to become someone new. You only need to see clearly who you already are. And beneath it all, you are luminous. You are spacious. You are enough. Part 10. The wisdom of not chasing anything. There is a quiet wisdom that arises only when we stop chasing, when we stop running after approval, control, recognition, safety, certainty, or even happiness. This wisdom does not shout, it does not demand attention. It settles slowly within you, like snow falling gently over a restless landscape. At first, you may not notice it. It feels too subtle, too spacious, too opposite of everything the modern world teaches you. But once it enters your heart, it begins to reshape your entire life, turning your attention inward, softening your fears, clearing the fog of confusion, and showing you how to stay calm and positive even in the midst of chaos. Before we begin this chapter, dear listener of Daily Dharma Listening, this is one of the moments in our long journey where I gently invite you, if this wisdom nourishes you, if this presence comforts you, if these reflections help you find peace in chaos, to subscribe, like, and share. You are part of a growing circle of quiet seekers, and your presence helps these teachings reach those who may be silently struggling. Tonight, we explore the profound freedom that comes from not chasing anything. Imagine standing in a field at dusk. The sky is glowing with the last gold of the day. A soft wind moves through the tall grass. The world feels spacious, open, and welcoming. In this moment, nothing is chasing you, and you are chasing nothing. You simply stand there, breathing, existing, belonging. That is the essence of Buddhist teachings, learning to return to this stillness within yourself no matter where you are or what challenges surround you. But this state is rare for most people. We are conditioned to chase everything: success, validation, intimacy, comfort, stability, self-worth, meaningfulness, and even enlightenment. Chasing creates restlessness. Restlessness creates suffering. suffering creates more chasing. And so the cycle repeats. To transform your mind, you must first understand why the mind chases. The mind chases because it believes something is missing. It chases because it does not trust the present moment. It chases because it believes peace lies elsewhere, in a future achievement, in someone's approval, in a solved problem, in a different version of yourself. But Buddhist wisdom reminds us that peace cannot be found in the future. Peace is a quality of inner presence. And inner presence exists only in this moment. Not chasing does not mean giving up on your life. It means giving up on the illusion that fulfillment lies somewhere outside your own awareness. Imagine holding a cup of water. If you grip it too tightly, the water spills. If you hold it gently, the cup remains steady. Chasing is the tight grip. Presence is the gentle holding. When you chase, you lose clarity. When you stop chasing, clarity returns on its own. Think now of something you have been chasing recently. Perhaps it is someone's love. Perhaps it is a feeling of certainty. Perhaps it is a version of yourself, more successful, more stable, more awakened. Notice how your chest tightens when you think of it. Notice the heaviness that arises. Notice the subtle panic that whispers, "I must have this." Chasing always tightens the heart. Now breathe. Imagine releasing the grip, not abandoning the goal, but releasing the desperation, the fear, the need, the urgency. As you breathe, notice how the heart softens. Notice how the mind becomes more spacious. This softness is the first step toward not chasing. There is a Zen story of a monk who desperately wanted enlightenment. He meditated fiercely for hours each day. Yet the harder he tried, the farther clarity seemed to slip. Finally, his teacher said, "You are like a man trying to catch a cool breeze by grasping it. The harder you reach, the more you disturb the air." The monk relaxed his striving. And one day, while sweeping the courtyard, enlightenment came, not through chasing, but through stillness. In your own life, chasing disturbs your inner air. It makes your mind turbulent. It steals your peace. If you wish to find peace in chaos, you must stop believing that chaos comes from the world. Chaos comes from the mind chasing what it does not have and resisting what it does. Now imagine yourself sitting beside a calm pond. The water reflects the moon perfectly. You reach into the pond to grasp the reflection, but the moment your hand touches the water, the reflection shadows. This is the nature of desire. The moment you grasp at fulfillment, the image breaks. Fulfillment is found in stillness, not in grasping. Many people chase because they fear emptiness. But emptiness in Buddhist teachings is not a void, it is the spaciousness that allows life to flow freely. It is the silence between breaths. It is the vastness beneath your thoughts. It is the peace that arises when you stop measuring your worth by what you achieve or receive. To not chase anything is to trust that what is meant for you will enter your life naturally, and what is not meant for you will leave. This trust does not make you passive, it makes you wise. It helps you protect your energy. It helps you live without fear. It helps you see clearly that you do not need to hold on so tightly. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of the ocean. The waves roll in and out with perfect rhythm. You cannot force a wave to arrive sooner, and you cannot stop it from receding. Life is the same. When you chase, you fight the tide. When you surrender, you float. Floating is not weakness. Floating is wisdom. Floating is understanding that life moves through cycles, gain and loss, joy and sorrow, clarity and confusion, beginnings and endings. When you stop chasing, you allow yourself to ride these cycles without drowning in them. Often what we chase is not even the thing itself, but what we imagine it will give us. We chase a job because we think it will bring security. We chase a relationship because we think it will bring validation. We chase perfection because we think it will bring acceptance. But Buddhist reminders when you feel lost say this clearly: nothing outside you can permanently give what you seek within. The moment you stop chasing, the moment you relax your grip, the moment you release the urgency, something miraculous begins to happen. Your mind becomes clear. Your heart becomes lighter. Your body relaxes. Your decisions become wiser. And the things that are truly meant for you begin to arrive, naturally, quietly, without force. Imagine you are holding a handful of sand. If you squeeze it tightly, it slips through your fingers. But if you hold it gently, it remains. This is how life responds to your mind. Grasping pushes things away. Presence allows things to remain. The wisdom of not chasing anything is not passive, it is deeply active. It asks you to be fully present in this moment. To act from clarity, not desperation. To move from truth, not fear. To breathe instead of cling. To trust instead of panic. It is an act of deep courage to release the chase, because the mind believes chasing equals safety. But the teachings show the opposite. Chasing is the root of anxiety. To truly transform your mind, you must see that peace arises not when the world changes, but when your relationship to the world changes. When you stop needing life to be different in order to feel whole, you finally become whole. Tonight, as you rest, imagine yourself putting down every chase, every pursuit born from fear, every desire fed by insecurity, every longing driven by the belief that you are not enough as you are. Put them all down beside you. Feel the spaciousness that opens inside you. Feel the quiet wisdom settling in your chest. Feel the peace that arises when you let go. You are already whole. You are already complete. You are already enough. And when you stop chasing, life begins to come to you. Part 11. The soft strength of standing in your own truth. There is a kind of strength that does not shout, does not display itself, does not require recognition. It is not the strength of dominance or force, not the strength of winning arguments or proving yourself right. It is the quiet, steady strength of standing gently in your own truth, a truth that does not waver when others misunderstand you, a truth that does not collapse when life becomes uncertain, a truth rooted not in ego but in awareness. This strength grows slowly, like a tree taking root through storms, seasons, and silence. And it is one of the most profound gifts Buddhist wisdom can offer. Tonight, we explore this soft strength, the strength that arises not from resistance but from presence, not from control but from understanding, not from fear but from clarity. It is the kind of strength that allows you to stay calm and positive when life's difficulties gather like heavy clouds, the kind that helps you protect your energy without closing your heart, the kind that shows you how to find peace in chaos without running away from anything. To begin, imagine yourself standing in the middle of a wide, empty field at dawn. The sky above you glows softly. A gentle breeze moves through the grass. You are barefoot, feeling the cool earth beneath your feet. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing to lean against, no walls to brace yourself on, only the open sky, the quiet field, and your own presence. And yet, you feel steady. You feel grounded. You feel unshaken. This is the feeling of standing in your own truth. But in daily life, this feeling is easily lost. The stories we tell ourselves, the expectations we carry, the judgments of others, the pressure to fit into roles we never chose, all of these can shake our inner balance. Many people live not from truth but from habit, from fear, from social conditioning, or from the desire to avoid conflict. They shrink themselves to fit into other people's comfort. They silence their intuition to avoid disappointing someone. They abandon their own needs to maintain an image of being good or strong or successful. This creates suffering, a quiet suffering that grows beneath the surface of their lives. To transform your mind, you must learn to recognize when you are abandoning yourself. The body always knows. Notice how your chest tightens when you betray your own boundaries. Notice how your breath becomes shallow when you agree to something your heart resists. Notice how your mind becomes chaotic when you say yes out of fear rather than truth. These are not flaws, they are signals, messages from your inner wisdom calling you back. Standing in your own truth does not mean fighting others. It means being aligned within yourself. It means knowing what is true for you even when no one else understands. It means trusting your intuition even when it whispers instead of shouting. And it means having compassion for yourself if you lose your way, because losing your way is part of the path. Every moment you realign with truth, you deepen your strength. There is a Buddhist teaching that says, when you stand on the ground of your own being, no wind can knock you down. The winds may come, criticism, doubt, rejection, fear, but if your roots are deep, you will bend without breaking. You will feel the wind, but you will not become the wind. Imagine now a tall bamboo grove. When strong winds blow, bamboo bends gracefully. It does not resist, it does not snap, it does not fight. Its strength lies in its flexibility. This is the nature of soft strength. It is not rigid, it is responsive. It knows when to hold firm and when to yield. It knows that resistance against life only creates more suffering. It knows that truth does not require aggression, it requires clarity. Soft strength means listening deeply, to yourself, to others, to the present moment. It means choosing stillness instead of reaction. Many conflicts arise not because of what happens, but because we react without seeing clearly. Buddhist lessons for anxiety remind us that reactivity is a form of self-abandonment, awareness is a form of self-return. When you take one conscious breath before speaking or acting, you stand in your truth. Sometimes your truth will be quiet. It may tell you to step back instead of stepping forward. It may tell you to rest instead of pushing harder. It may tell you to walk away from something that once felt important. It may tell you to let go of an identity that no longer fits. It may tell you to forgive. Or it may tell you to speak when you have been silent too long. When you honor these messages, you live without fear, not because life becomes easy, but because you trust your inner compass. Imagine a small candle burning in a dark room. The candle does not demand attention. It does not compete with anything. It simply holds its light. And because it holds its light, the entire room becomes illuminated. This is what happens when you stand in your truth. You do not need to prove anything. Your presence itself becomes clarity. Now consider how often you dim your light to avoid discomfort. You shrink so others feel taller. You silence your ideas so others feel safe. You carry burdens that were never yours to carry. You pretend to be fine when you are hurting. You fear disappointing people even when staying silent disappoints yourself. These habits arise from a lifetime of conditioning, from a world that teaches you to seek external approval rather than inner alignment. But Buddhist reminders when you feel lost tell you, come home to yourself. You cannot live fully if you are living someone else's version of you. To walk in your truth is to walk lightly. Because when you are aligned within yourself, you stop carrying the weight of pretending. You stop chasing what is not meant for you. You stop forcing situations that drain your spirit. You begin to protect your energy naturally, not by shutting people out, but by staying rooted in awareness. Imagine again the field at dawn. You stand there, breathing slowly, the earth steady beneath your feet. Your truth is not loud. It is not a declaration. It is a grounded presence. It is the quiet knowing, I am allowed to be exactly who I am. This permission creates freedom. Freedom creates peace. Peace creates strength. Sometimes truth asks you to leave a situation that no longer aligns with your heart. Sometimes truth asks you to stay and grow deeper roots. Sometimes truth asks you to soften. Sometimes it asks you to rise. It will not always be easy, but it will always be honest. Honesty with yourself is the foundation of all Buddhist wisdom. Without honesty, you cannot transform your mind. Without honesty, you cannot heal. Without honesty, you cannot find peace in chaos. Honesty is the mirror that reflects your path clearly. It is the lantern that lights your way. It is the compass that leads you toward your most authentic life. Now imagine placing your hand gently on your heart. Feel the warmth beneath your palm. Feel the steady rhythm of your existence. This is your truth speaking, not in words, but in presence. Not in language, but in being. You may ask quietly, what do you need from me? And if you listen, truly listen, the answer will arise. Tonight, allow yourself to rest in the soft strength of your truth. Let the noise of others' expectations fall away. Let the burden of who you think you should be dissolve. Let the fog of confusion lift. You do not need to force clarity. You only need to stand still long enough for wisdom to arise. You are enough as you are. You are stronger than you realize. You are more spacious than your fears. And when you stand gently in your own truth, the whole world begins to shift, not because the world changes, but because you finally return to yourself. Point 12. The place within you that nothing can touch. There comes a moment on every inner journey when the seeker grows quiet, not because all questions have been answered, not because all wounds have healed, not because life has become simple, but because something inside finally understands that peace is not found by solving everything, but by touching the part of yourself that has never been disturbed. This chapter is the gentle closing of our first cycle of teachings, the soft landing at the end of a long inward walk. It is not the end of the journey, only the end of one breath before the next begins. Tonight, we travel to the deepest place within you, the place untouched by fear, loss, confusion, or desire. A place older than your name, older than your memories, older even than your pain. A place that every great Buddhist teaching points toward, yet no words can fully describe. It is the stillness beneath the storm, the flame that remains lit even in complete darkness, the clear sky behind every cloud, the quiet awareness behind every thought. This is the place within you that nothing can touch. Imagine yourself walking down a path at dusk. The world around you is dimming, but the air is soft, gentle, holding you with a kind of tenderness you haven't felt in years. You walk slowly. You feel the earth beneath your feet. You hear your breath, steady and real. The path leads you to a small hut at the edge of a forest. There is nothing extraordinary about the hut: wooden walls, a simple door, a faint glow from the crack beneath it. And yet something inside you knows that entering this hut will change you. You step inside. The room is empty except for a mat on the floor and a single candle burning quietly in the center. The flame does not flicker. It remains steady even though you have opened the door. You sit on the mat. You close your eyes. And slowly, the world disappears. The noise, the worry, the pressure, the expectation, the fear. Only awareness remains. The candle is the symbol of your pure awareness, the awareness untouched by anything that has ever happened to you. Experiences may create ripples in the mind, but they cannot reach this flame. Suffering may shake your heart, but it cannot extinguish this light. Confusion may cloud your perception, but it does not alter the nature of your awareness. This is why Buddha's teachings speak endlessly about returning to the present moment, because the present moment is the doorway to this inner room. Imagine now that all your thoughts appear in front of you, not inside you, as if projected onto a wall. You see worries about the future. You see regrets from the past. You see desires you're ashamed of. You see fears you've tried to hide. You see expectations you've inherited from others. You see old wounds, old stories, old identities. And something extraordinary happens. You realize that you are the one watching these thoughts, not the thoughts themselves. You are the sky, not the clouds. You are the ocean, not the waves. You are the awareness, not the experience. In this realization, your entire inner world shifts. Suddenly, you begin to understand what it means to live without fear. Fear is not the absence of danger. Fear is identification with what is not you. When you mistake the cloud for the sky, you feel small. When you mistake the wave for the ocean, you feel powerless. But when you remember your true nature, everything changes. You transform your mind not by fighting thoughts or forcing calm, but by remembering that awareness is already calm. You begin to see how to protect your energy, not by withdrawing from the world, but by not absorbing what was never yours to carry. Someone's anger enters your field, yet you watch it without becoming it. A disappointment arises, yet your heart remains soft. A challenge appears, yet you respond with clarity rather than panic. This is the strength of those who know themselves as awareness. You begin to understand how to stay calm and positive even when life becomes uncertain. Calm is not the absence of difficulty. Calm is the presence of awareness. And awareness is always available, always waiting, always ready to receive you the moment you stop running. Imagine now a vast sky at night, star-filled, endless, luminous. This sky is your true nature. Thoughts, emotions, fears, hopes, these are passing clouds. Some are heavy. Some are light. Some bring rain. Some block the moon. But none of them can alter the sky. The sky remains untouched. The sky remains unchanged. You are that sky. This is the deepest truth of Buddhist wisdom, the truth behind all teachings, the truth that liberates the mind. You are not the pain you carry. You are not the stories you tell. You are not the fears that visit you. You are not the past that shaped you. You are the awareness witnessing all of it, open, spacious, unbroken. Now imagine placing your hand over your heart. Feel its rhythm. Feel its warmth. This body will change. This mind will change. This life will change. But the awareness holding all of it does not. That awareness is the place within you that nothing can touch. The candle in the hut burns steadily. You sit beside it for as long as you need, breathing, softening, returning. When you finally stand to leave, the candlelight follows you, not because the flame moves, but because you carry it within you. When you step back onto the path, the night feels different. The air feels deeper. The quiet feels richer. The forest seems alive with something ancient. But nothing has changed except your knowing. You are walking in the same world, but with a different mind. Every challenge you face from now on, every fear that rises, every moment you feel lost, you will remember this place. You will remember that beneath everything, you are untouched. You will remember that awareness cannot be harmed, cannot be shaken, cannot be diminished. And in that remembrance, you will find peace in chaos. You will live without fear. You will walk gently, softly, lightly, knowing you carry the deepest truth within you. Rest now. Return to yourself. The flame is always waiting.